does Dr. Joseph still have the driver? If so, how much is this driver?
There's no additional cost for the driver.
Okay, no additional cost for MNPS?
To MNPS or anyone else.
Okay, he's personally paying his own driver?
No,
The bus driver.
He's a bus driver. He's already
Okay,
paid.
my question is he still a driver for Dr. Joseph?
Yeah, so we do have a driver that is a bus driver for the district that does assign routes when I need the driver, because I do lots of traveling as we're visiting schools and going out in meetings and things of that nature. And on my phone or working, he will get us to and from it. It's a benefit, whereas we don't have to worry about paying for parking and finding parking in locations, because I do go multiple places. When he's not doing work with me, he is driving students in the district, so there's no cost. It's a practice that has been employed for a while. We've always had someone driving the director, whether it was somebody in the office. I just prefer to have somebody who actually drives to do that. But I don't use him every day. I use him when needed, and it's an efficient way because I'm on the road for hours, and the nature of my job is such that I always have to be updated on things and looking at my phone, working, talking on the phone, sending emails. I do have, access to my computer in the car where I continuously do the work. So it's just an efficiency piece for me to continue to be effective and connected because as we have 168 schools and 11,000 employees, things are always happening that I'm always required to be updated and working. And I spend most of my time actually out in offices, out in schools. So it's an efficiency piece, but there is no additional cost to the district. And when he's not with me, he's working with students and doing things in the office. So it's not someone sitting around waiting on to take me from place to place. And we decide each week where it's most efficient for me to just be transported and taken out. Because again, the complexity and nature of the role requires that to be most productive.
I just feel that I hope that is. I do want to make sure that is accurate. There's no additional monies for this driver, as it's stated on the floor. So yeah, there's something. Who would I request? His salary, Chris? Is that what I need to do, or? Okay, Dr. Severe. Okay, I would like to request that.
And what are you asking for? How much this bus driver makes?
Asking how much he makes, and I want to be able to review that information.
If I understand what was just said, Dr. Joseph's driver is a bus driver. Is that correct?
Yes.
Dr. Joseph's driver, a bus driver?
Yes.
Okay. If Dr. Joseph's driver is a bus drivers work a split shift. So they work a morning and an afternoon. So if Dr. Joseph is utilizing the driver other than the split shift, that driver will have to be paid additional dollars. So to say the driver is no additional expense makes me not only want to know what his salary is, but what he is paid and what overtime he has received since Dr. Joseph has been here. And I know he's used several different people as drivers, and I'll put that in writing for you, David. Second thing, Ms. Frog asked for the travel budget, and I would like to also know in the director's office, when travel is taken, what type of leave is used. So I'd like an accounting of not only what about the travel that Ms. Frog has requested, but also what leave is utilized. I know ERDI should not be. Anyway, I won't say any more about that.
I don't work for ERDI. Thank you.
I know you don't, but anyway,
Just
thank
clarifying.
you.
And again, I'm going to ask that if this is about specific questions about our one employee, we need to bring this to the Director Evaluation Committee meeting.
It is still open to the public.
That is still open to the public.
Thank you. Since we're putting requests out, I do know that sometimes when the board travels, it causes travel for the chiefs. Like I know some of the chiefs have had to go on they've had to travel because of the board. Would you mind giving us a breakdown of that also? Because I know travel has increased with us. It'll be in writing, just say it.
And Ms. Spearing? I'm sorry. I'm looking, Ms. Frobe.
Okay, with regard to the bus driver, I just want to follow up on those comments. So if our director is using the bus driver on his off time, that's a few hours in the middle of the day. So I would assume that he is not being used in the morning, in the afternoon, just this small amount of time during the middle of the day. I've also been told that this bus driver is being paid 2 to 3 times in overtime. And so I think it's very important that we have a full accounting of how much we have paid this bus driver when he has been pulled from his route. And we have a shortage of bus drivers. So if we've got a shortage of bus drivers and we're using one of them for the director whenever he wants it, we're taking that bus driver away from children, and that's not right.
Who was driving before?
So we'll clarify in that he's not assigned to a route. What he does is, because every day we have shortages, or we'll have someone where he can fill in, and they do have people to do that. We have. So that's what he does primarily, but he's not assigned to a particular route. And we are very mindful not to manage overtime, and we will happily provide that information to you because we don't do that. And when there are evening times and things that would cause, over an overday, we typically have not done that. It's been very rare, but he does not get paid more than any other bus driver in the district, and you will see that once we get you the information.
That means that he can't fill in, and I'm telling you, right now, I'm getting complaints from Croft Middle School that they have kids on the bus an extra 1 or 2 hours in the afternoon, and we need that bus driver for kids. So even if he doesn't have a specific route, if we're having problems with routes for children, you do not need to be using that driver. That driver needs to be taking care of our children.
If I could just ask, what was the discussion when past directors of schools had a driver? I'm just really curious for my own understanding, because I know and I can't even say their name because I don't want to add to the culture of fear, but 2 past director of schools used a driver. Was that not did we not put in a policy or something back then, or was it not as big of a concern?
I can tell you what I know about it. I've been on the board for 6 years. When Dr. Register was here and he had to go to an event, and another person from the district was going to the event, they would drive together. To my knowledge, no other director has ever had a driver.
Yeah, well, I've been on the board 10 years, and that's not true.
That's what
That's not true.
Well,
No,
I'd like to see.
Yeah, and what I don't want to do is, there's enough compare and contrast going on here, and we understand, again, that there are specific concerns with regards to administration. We will bring these concerns to the director's evaluation meeting. I am sure that the concerns are raised because we are primarily concerned about our children, and that's what's driving this conversation. I know that's what's driving this conversation. And so when we have the discussions and director evaluation, it's about making it better and making it right and ensuring that we are in compliance and having discussions that get us where we want to be. Are there any more questions specifically for Mr. Swan?